Hey guys, Krystal Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore in London, Ontario, Canada, and this is Realtor Life, a fun and entertaining look at life in the trenches as a real estate agent in Ontario. And the episode today is called Keep Effing Going. And we'll get into why that is, but this is a message that needs to be imprinted on everything you do and everything we do as real estate professionals, because this job, it's amazing and it's wonderful and it's fantastic, but it is a grind, and it can be emotionally draining, it can be stressful, it can be just your emotions are all over the place, and you are helping people through the biggest transaction most of them will ever go into, and you just need to figure out how to take care of you. And I know we've talked about that in previous episodes, but keep effing going. I actually have a colleague gave me a keychain, and it was pretty cool because I added sunflowers into my logo a little while ago, and the colleague gave me a keychain with a sunflower, which is pretty cool. And if you open the sunflower, it says keep effing going. And I ended up giving the girls on my team at Vision Day. We have a Vision Day every November, and we will chat more about that maybe at the end. But Vision Day, they all got a keychain that says keep effing going. And I thought that was just the best message ever, because it is what separates the successful people from the ones who are going to be complaining about what a horrible year they had. It is what helps people climb out of burnout. It helps them climb out of maybe depression, of stress, of situations in life. One foot in front of the other, you keep going. And I'll give you an example. The other day, I was just feeling blah, and I mean, it's going to happen. We are kind of run ragged doing all these things. It is freezing cold outside. It's dark, and I just wasn't feeling it. But people count on me and people rely on me, so I needed to figure it out. So I decided to go for a really quick walk. I just, 20 minutes, out we go. And oh my goodness, guys, night and day. It was just the actual action. And Tony Robbins talks about this, how motion creates emotion. So if you really want to feel better, start doing something, move your body. And it really helped. So a couple of things. So number one, fall 7, get up 8. And that's from the Bible. But Winston Churchill also talked about failure is it's a loss of enthusiasm. So you can fail, but it's not really failing if you don't give up. So everyone fails. Everyone gets kind of kicked. Everyone has situations that just really suck. And the best part is that you don't have to live there. You get to keep going. So if something doesn't work, think of Thomas Edison and his light bulb, 99 ways to not make a light bulb. And then there you go. What I try to do, especially in real estate, like we're literally at the whim of people's approval. So if someone thinks we're doing a good job, we get to feel good and we get to make a sale. And if they don't think we're doing a good job, or they don't like us, then we don't get to move forward. And it can be really hard to separate your emotions from that, because ultimately we love taking care of people. We love getting results for people. We love helping them through a difficult transaction. And then like that hug at the end is gold. But it can be so hard to really figure it out at the end of the day, because you as a realtor are your only resource. You literally are what you have. And so it can be really difficult at times to figure out how to keep going. And so that would be my first thing, do something. So whether it's a walk, whether it's getting on the phone, whether it's posting something up, whether it's helping a colleague or helping one of your business network people, you can keep going. There are a million things that you can do right now in your business that you haven't done yet. So do it. Sometimes when we're sitting in meetings, and we were just talking about this at a training I was running today, it is so easy to say, oh, like it's just, I don't have any sales, I don't have any leads. Maybe I'll purchase this lead. Maybe I'll buy this, or I'll get a bus bench or whatever. But have you called everyone in your database? Have you written personal notes to everyone? Have you reached out to everyone in your business network? Is everyone you know in your database, and are you working? Have you called all your clients? Have you delivered a thank you gift to all your clients? There's like a list. I could go on and on and on, but they're not sexy. They're boring because they're fundamentals. And so it can seem easier to get a new lead than it is to talk to the people that already know and like you. I think it takes, like someone had said, and I think we mentioned before, like 6 times as much money and time to nurture a new person into your database as it does to nurture someone that's already there. So get calling. And if you don't have it, if you're listening and you're like, what is a database? Okay, that's okay. I think go back and listen to some of the podcasts, but a database is just a collection of relationships. And I put everyone in my database. So if I've met you, you're in there. And if you're not in there, it's because I messed up and I haven't put you in there yet. But it's a good way to track conversations, people. And it's just, you don't have to just put clients in. If there's someone that you go and get your haircut from, if you go and buy pizza, if you go to the gym, why are you not building a relationship with those people? It doesn't mean that they're going to buy a house from you necessarily, but it might mean that if you support their business, they'll get excited and want to support your business. Wouldn't that be great? So just make sure the database is so important, because that's how you're going to be able to track people. And that's how you're going to be able to make sure you have all the information you need to be the best person to serve them. As far as the setbacks though, I recommend trying to learn from your setbacks. And I'm going to share that in 1 second, but I was listening to a book by Brian Tracy, and it's called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And he talked about setbacks and how you should look at a setback. And a setback needs to be viewed as temporary and specific and future focused. So when you look at something like, let's say, okay, I didn't get a listing. I went on a listing appointment, didn't get the listing. So I could be like, oh my goodness, my career's over. I quit. I'm leaving. And there's some days that I do say that, and I feel that. But the temporariness, I didn't get today's listing. You're not going to get every listing. It would be nice if you did. And I had a whole period of time where I didn't lose listing appointments. So it was very frustrating for me when I didn't get everyone. Mostly because I had built relationships with people before I went on listing appointments. So for the most part, I wasn't sitting in front of a lot of strangers. But temporary. So I didn't get a listing. That's temporary. I'm a realtor. I sell so many houses every year. That's okay if I didn't get one. Specific. I didn't get that listing today. So it's one listing. It was today, like this period. And future focused. What can I do to try and get it next time? And so I will often ask, 13 years in, there's been more when I first had my first listing I didn't get, after I kind of knew what I was doing, that was frustrating. It's a competitive business, so there are quite a few that I haven't gotten for different reasons. And so what I do try to say is, hey, okay, what could I have done differently? Or what would have made you want to choose me? Because I think there's a difference when you go into a listing appointment and you're competing with a colleague, versus when you go in and you have a relationship. So I always ask, what could I have done differently? And that's the future focus part. So for example, you might lose like $10,000 in commission because you don't get a listing. But what if you gain like $100,000 of education by learning something that you didn't realize was not working? So this happened to me just a couple months ago, and it really helped. I was able to talk with my coach, and we really dug deep into what was going on, why I didn't connect with the client the way I wanted to, and how to change it. So since then, I've adapted things, and I'm very grateful to that client for not choosing me, because, I guess not client, that person for not choosing me, but for being honest with me about why. So I was able to say, okay, I need to adapt. This thing that I've been doing one way is now moving into 2024 isn't resonating the same way. So we need to be able to pivot and adapt. If you ever get a chance to read Who Moved My Cheese, it's a short book, but it's basically the summary is that you need to be able to pivot and adapt. You can't just think if you do things the way you've always done them, you'll get the results you've always gotten. You really have to you have to understand that the world changes, things change, and priorities shift, and we need to be ready to pivot with that. So that is essentially the issue. So keep going. Look at setbacks as being temporary, specific, and future focused. And I said I would mention about the Vision Day. So every year with Royal LePage, we have our awards. So our award period is between November 15th and November 14th every year. And so the reason awards matter, and whatever company you're with, hopefully you're coming to Royal LePage, but whatever company you're with, they all have different award things. And why are the awards fun? It's a way to say, hey, I worked my butt off. Here's something that the company felt I deserved. So it looks good, because otherwise you're just kind of sharing data that no one cares about. And it's possible that no one cares about the awards, but we care, so that's fine. But we have a Vision Day. So on Vision Day, we spend the whole day and we do a goal setting. We have lunch together. We do a marketing plan. But probably the thing I love most about that day, we're excited for the year, but we do a vision board and a goal setting. And that vision board is something I end up printing and putting in front of my desk, on my phone. And it really sets the stage for what I want my year to look like. And I think if you have a chance to do that future focus, I think works. Even if you're not talking about a setback, like it helps to drive the ship forward on days when you're just not feeling it. And that's where that keep effing going comes into it too. So can you write down some goals? And if you struggle with goals, I'd say pick, when I started this podcast, we talked about the Buffini 5-circle goals. You can pick one thing in every category. You can pick one thing in financial, one thing as a business goal, one thing as a family goal, one thing as a personal goal, one thing as a spiritual goal. A lot of people will pick 3. Sometimes you can pick 5. It's for the whole year. And if you don't want to just write them down, we will go and we'll search for photos on Google and we'll put them into a Word document, and that becomes the vision board. You don't have to cut them out of a magazine. You can literally grab them, put them onto the Word document, make sure you wrap the text so it's all condensed, and then you print it. And you print it, we throw it on some Bristol board, and it looks amazing. Age alert, I don't know, do they still call it Bristol board? I don't know. I hope so. So yeah, the biggest thing is just make sure that your eye is on the prize, because it can be rough out there, but at the end of the day, we are changing lives, we are impacting people, we are making a difference, and we're doing it side by side with our colleagues and side by side with our clients. So we really need to be able to bounce back, because that bounce back, that grit that Angela Duckworth talks about, Tony Robbins, that is the key, and that's what's going to separate you from your peers. I'm Krystal Lee Moore-Lucier, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore, and thanks for listening, guys.